My smile is just huge because I just realize once again what we have. And you so often will hear distributors say, oh, we need this product and we need that product. But the truth is we have what we need, right? We have Protandim and we have True Signs, and those are the two key products in any way. So amazing, amazing. Amy, there's a few questions regarding your Lyme disease. So I just want to make the disclaimer that, we can never, ever say that Protandim cures, heals, prevents, or mitigates any disease. But we're just talking about you specifically and your body. How did Protandim help with your Lyme's disease?
So sorry I had to put it up to my ear. For some reason, the speaker's not working. Oh my gosh. So I was taking about 30 to 40 supplements a day, Charlotte. And they were very expensive supplements, mostly pharmaceutical grade, being sold through my doctor's offices that I was going to. So I was taking a lot of similar ingredients, by the way. I had been taking ashwagandha. I had been taking bacopa even, not consistently, and turmeric. And when I started taking Protandim, I did get a little bit of a detox reaction to it. So I got a little bit sick. Some people do, some people don't. I was fine with that because I knew something was happening, something was working. And literally within about 10 days, it was like a light switch went off in my brain because I had had the condition of brain fog from the Lyme disease. It really attacks the brain ultimately. And I was going to a neurologist and a psychologist to do like meditation and stuff to relax my nervous system because my brain was really, I was having processing speed problems and memory problems. It literally was like a light switch went off in my brain. And I can't make any medical claims about this, you guys. But all I can tell you is I never went on all those other supplements again. I went off of everything. I did also do a T-bar test, which I decided to do. I had already been on Protandim for about maybe 2 months. And my doctor was so intrigued by this, he ordered the kits. And he said, let's do a T-bar test now, even with you being on it already. And then we'll do another one in a year. So he said, I don't want to see a month. Let's see what happens in a year to see how this really affects you because it's a long term that makes the difference. So I did a T-bar test and it was really high, you guys, but it probably was off the page before I started taking Protandim. And then a year later, I went back about 14 months later and I had another one. I wasn't going to see my doctor in the meantime. I used to go every month to see him to get an update on my vitamins and everything. I would do a meditation session. I didn't see him for 14 months, came back. I didn't need to. And he doesn't take insurance. So I was paying out of pocket. 14 months later, came and took another one. My oxidative stress was reduced by 57%. He was totally blown away. And, he doesn't sell Protandim in his office. He has a nurse in there that, that signed up, but she's not really doing anything. He honestly said to me, this will put me out of business. He literally said that to me. He said, he made me look out the window, and I'm not even going to tell you his name because we became good friends. He pointed to his car and he said, if I start selling Protandim, if I give this to my patients, I'm not going to have that car outside. I said, I can show you how to make money with this. He said, Amy, I just can't go there. So he just decided not to join, but he was totally blown away by what we have. And I don't go back to him anymore. So, I'm telling you guys, the only thing I have a teeny bit of neuropathy I used to have pretty bad neuropathy in my legs from the Lyme disease. And it's just a teeny bit. I'll get like a little burning. And I know if I'm stressed out, that's when it happens. If I'm burning the candle, like traveling too much or whatever. And, this business is a little stressful, when you're trying to grow it and you have goals. Thank God for Protandim. That's all I can tell you. We need these products to get to Pro10. Woohoo! We do.
So true. I've got my little bottle right here on my desk. So, Amy, I 100% relate because, I said before I had Lyme disease. And again, guys, we don't make any disclaimers. I'm just sharing my personal story. But I had Lyme's disease, and my good friend G came to me and she said, you've got to try this tablet. And I'm like, okay, well, I did, but let me tell you, I felt so bad. I was detoxing terribly. It took me 3 weeks. And in fact, by sort of week 2, I rang her and I said, this little yellow pill, I'm going to throw in the bin because it's making me feel so much worse. But I didn't. I just persevered. And I woke up exactly week 3 and my brain fog went. It was gone. So I know what you're saying. It was like a switch was just turned on and I was back to normal as far as my brain function. So amazing, amazing product. Guys, Amy, can you tell us, when somebody says to you, what is that little yellow pill? Or what is Protandim? How do you explain it?
I explain it like it's a little cellular vacuum cleaner. So literally people need to visualize things, and the inside of the cell gets that rust, just like it does on the outside of your car or when you cut an apple in half. You know, that rust is building up inside the cell and causing the cell to mutate and get damaged. We're going to put a little cellular vacuum cleaner in there, and that your body makes those that little vacuum cleaner, and it stops doing it when you're about 25 years old. It just doesn't turn on as much to clean up. So we're just going to turn that back on again, and it's putting the body back in balance. It's not doing anything that the body isn't supposed to do. It literally is giving the body back the balance that it needs to fight the stress that the environmental assaults that we're under. So if you think about it, it's literally like a little switch inside the cell, which is exactly why you and I felt like a light switch went off. Well, it really did. A light switch did go off, and it's a nerve 2 light switch. But most people don't understand that. So if you talk about a cellular vacuum cleaner that just gets in there and cleans everything out, and it comes on a couple hours a day, and then it goes back off again. And you take a pill and it comes back on again for a couple hours, and then it goes back off. And that's it. And it's 1,000,000 times more powerful than a vitamin. So, it's like, using vitamins or like a flip phone. How many people still have a flip phone, and then versus an iPhone? And so this is a newer technology. It's just, people just don't know about it yet. So you're the first one to know, you can either take this information and do what you want with it, or, you can do what you want, but we're doing what we're buying iPhones. We're not using flip phones anymore.
Awesome. I love that the flip phone, iPhone analogy. I think it is so practical and people really do understand it. Amy, one more question is, how do you approach medical specialists? So you've shared the story of your own doctor and his apathy, or should I say, he didn't want to lose his income. But how do you approach medical specialists or anybody in the medical field about Protandim?
Yeah, so I do have a good fair amount of doctors in my team, and one of the things that I like to talk to doctors about more than just the science of this is their business, because you can ask them, are your patients starting to ask you about any kind of natural supplements or anything that would be an alternative to medication? And most of them are going to say yes. And then you can say to them, what do you say about that when they're inquiring? And a lot of them just say, well, I don't really get into that. I say, do you understand how big the supplement industry is and how important it is to be on the cutting edge of that? Because your patients, they're going to buy something from somebody other than you. And if you don't know anything about what's happening in this area of nutrigenomics, you're leaving money on the table. So, you might be introducing other technologies into your office. A lot of doctors' offices are doing Botox. They're doing all these other weird things to try to bring in income to their business. And so this is just like adding a Botox or another income stream into their business, because they don't think of supplements in that way. But most doctors' offices, at some point, they're going to have to go down this road, because they're not going to be able to make the money that they used to make. In the United States, it's just terrible. The doctors are not making as much money as they used to. So at least we have a solution that can help bring income to their office, but we also have the most researched products in the market right now. So at least the worst case scenario for you is that you should at least know about this, because there's no other supplement company that has 26 published studies on a product that is a million times stronger than a vitamin. So if somebody's asking you, hey, should I be taking vitamins? Most doctors will say, yeah, you should take a multivitamin. But they don't recommend which one, but they say yes. They could say, hey, you could even just say, hey, learn about Protandim. And you could just have an answer to say to somebody, hey, there's this company, they make this product called Protandim. I don't sell it, but here, call this person. I mean, at least you would give them something that would make you sound like at least you're on the cutting edge, even if you're not selling it yourself. And then you sort of, you're helping them. You're becoming a resource for them by giving them information. And you're not trying to close them. You're not trying to say, hey, you should get into the business. For them, it's so hard for them to think of how they could take one more minute out of their day. But to just say, let me be a resource to you and give you some information. So the next time a patient asks you a question, you could say, hey, you might want to check out this thing called Protandim. It's more powerful than a vitamin, and it has 26, published studies. And, give them a business card. Say you could hand out a business card. It doesn't have to be the doctor. And I've gotten a lot of business that way because they don't feel threatened, like you're just trying to sign them up. You're just trying to help them to not sound like an idiot when the person comes in, they don't know anything. You're like a really smart doctor. You probably should know about this. I don't care if you sell it or not, but at least you'll sound smart when they ask you a question.
Oh, I love that. That's like really turning it around, hey, and coming from a service point of view instead of trying to sell something to them. I love that. Amy, thank you so much. One last thought, or maybe, idea or suggestion that you can leave our distributors with in terms of building their own business. What nugget can you give them?
Well, absolutely, positively. And I feel like I'm rebuilding my business now because I'm building my second and third business centers. I want to recruit 5 leaders again. I'm like on a mission right now. And I will tell you, after 4.5 years of this, I'm focusing on the business. I was so product oriented. I know we've been talking about Protandim, this call, and this is the reason that we have such an incredible business opportunity. So, but not everybody is going to understand what we're talking about. Okay. So I really want you guys, if you want you to grow your business faster, learn the compensation plan, learn how to show it in about 10 minutes to show people, yes, we have this ABC News report. Yes, we have a breakthrough product. Let me show you how we're making money with this. Literally within 10 minutes of having a conversation with someone, you could start to show them how you're going to make money with this, because you don't know where they are in their life. And if you can always go back to the science conversation, but don't let the science conversation run for half an hour and then start talking about money, because you're going to lose them. If they're a businessman and they think they have to talk for 30 minutes on the science and then you're going to talk about the money, it's going to take too long. So I'm going straight, literally, after I show now what I'm doing, and I'm not changing anything. We're all still using the same plan. I'm just getting to the money a lot faster. And then I go back to what more can I tell you about the science? Let me tell you this is a technology, Nutrigenomics. I show the Nutrigenomics, what is video, which is not everyone uses that. Then I use the ABC News report. It takes like 10 minutes to show both of those. I show a shorter version of the ABC News report. And then I go, let me show you how we're making money with this. And then I'm going to explain to you more about the science of the product. But I want you to know that there's a huge financial opportunity with this. Would you be open to hearing about that? And if they say yes, then you're getting into the money. And then you go, okay, now that I've shown you how we're making money, let me tell you why this is going to be so big. Let me explain more about Nerve 2. What can I tell you? How can I, what information do you need to understand more about this? So I'm
awesome.
really encouraging you guys to do that.
Thank you. That's really, really great information and a tip. Amy, I've tested this myself. I've been in a room with 200 or 300 people, and I've asked questions like, who wants to be more healthy? And maybe 50% would put up their hand. Or I'd say, who wants to lose weight? And maybe another 30% would put up their hand. But when you say who needs more money, every single person puts up their hand. And it's not about greed and about just wanting more. It's just that a lot of families are under massive financial pressure, right? So, guys, that's a great tip from Amy. Amy, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been amazing. The comments in this chat have been, I love her. She explains this so basic and so easy for us to understand. You have just been such a star. So we want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for your leadership. And thank you,
You're
everybody.
welcome.
Anytime, I'd love to come back and chat with you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much. And thanks to our guests and distributors for joining us, guys. This meeting is officially wrapped now.